The Galactic High Council stood tall in the center of the star nexus, a shining city floating between galaxies. Thousands of alien leaders, diplomats, and watchers from every known species sat in silence. Their eyes were fixed on one figure, the human representative, Ambassador Ryland Voss. He stood alone in the circle of judgment. No allies, no defense, just silence. Behind him, a giant hologram showed the wreckage of a destroyed stargate, a massive ring that once connected distant corners of the galaxy. Flames still burned in the image. Twisted metal floated in the void. It had taken thousands of years to build. Now, it was gone, and Earth was being blamed. A long-necked alien judge, covered in shimmering scales, raised her voice. The evidence is clear. The human ship Odyssey 7 was the last vessel near the Stargate before it exploded. Do you deny this, Ambassador? Ryland stepped forward. His voice was calm, but tired. We do not deny our presence, but we did not cause the destruction. We sent warnings. We detected energy spikes. You sent warnings after the fact. The judge interrupted. And now, over 3,000 lives are lost. The gate is gone. The galaxy is in chaos. Someone must pay. Ryland's eyes moved across the room. No one spoke for him. Not one voice. He took a breath. If you choose to blame humanity without proof, then history will judge you. The room remained silent. Another alien, this one with glowing eyes and tentacle-like arms, spoke slowly. Humanity has always been unstable, too emotional, too curious, too dangerous. Perhaps now is the time to act. A third voice added, they have weapons we cannot trace, technologies they never shared. Their own planet is locked and hidden from scans. What else are they hiding? Ryland clenched his fists. You fear us because you don't understand us. But fear is not truth. The vote was held. One by one, lights above each seat turned red. A few flickered yellow. None were green. The verdict was clear. Exile. Humanity was no longer welcome in the stars. Within days, all Earth-based stations were shut down. Human colonies were cut off from trade. Access to galactic networks was denied. Borders were closed. And then, Earth went dark. No signals, no ships, nothing. Galactic sensors could no longer scan the solar system. It was as if Earth had vanished. In the years that followed, stories began to spread. Some said Earth had fallen into war. Others believed humanity had destroyed itself. A few whispered that Earth had become a dead planet, a warning to others. Most simply shrugged and moved on. Humans were never meant to last, they said. Good riddance. But not everyone believed the silence. In a quiet sector far from the main trade lanes, an old mining station picked up a strange signal. A ship, small, silent, and unmarked, passed through their edge sensors. The ship didn't answer hails. It didn't show up on identification networks. It moved like a ghost, dark against the stars. One old engineer watched it go. He narrowed his eyes and whispered, That looked human. No one believed him. Back at the star nexus, life continued. Council meetings resumed. Trade expanded. New gates were built. But in the back of many minds, a single question remained. Where did the humans go? And somewhere, deep in uncharted space, that lone ship moved steadily forward. No lights, no sound, just a purpose. 5 years passed after the exile of Earth. In that time, the galaxy moved on. Trade routes shifted. New stargates were built to replace the lost one. Alien alliances grew stronger. The name of Earth became a bitter memory, spoken in mornings, used as a lesson to young species. Don't be like the humans. The Galactic Council believed the humans were gone forever. They had vanished without a trace, and the galaxy felt safer without them. But silence does not always mean peace, and in the farthest corners of the void, something was watching. The first vanishing. In a distant star system known as Lyranine, A small refueling outpost sent a routine check-in message to the Council. Everything was normal. The next message was scheduled in 2 days. It never came. When the Galactic Security Patrol sent a scout ship to investigate, they found nothing. No debris, no crew, no station, just a small piece of hull floating in space. On it, a single word was burned into the metal: return. The patrol logged the case as pirate activity, though no known pirates had ever operated that far out. Still, the Council wasn't worried. Space was big. Things got lost all the time. Then it happened again. And again. 3 more outposts, gone without warning. Entire mining colonies, erased. No distress calls. No survivors. Only that same message each time, left behind like a ghost's whisper. Return. The investigator, Commander Kaltha of the Xarn Dominion, was known as a logical, calm leader. He didn't believe in ghost stories. But after reviewing the reports, he requested to lead a team himself. His ship, the Vortex Claw, arrived at the most recent attack site in Sector V31. The crew was silent as they floated near the destroyed station. The wreckage looked strange. Melted, not exploded. As if torn apart from the inside. One officer spoke nervously. "Commander, this damage, it doesn't match plasma, laser, or rail impact. It's something else. Like heat and kinetic fusion. Very old tech." Kaltha frowned. "Run it through weapons archives." The AI responded a few seconds later. "No match found in current alien databases. Cross-checking." Pause. "Match found. Weapon signature. Human. Terran fusion cannon. Model dated 87 galactic cycles ago." The entire bridge fell silent. "But that's impossible," the officer said. "Humans don't have ships anymore. Their fleet was dismantled after the exile. Earth is locked off." Kaltha didn't answer. He stared at the broken metal, thinking. Then came a signal, a low-frequency pulse, repeating, like a heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. It came from the edge of the system. Not a call, not a transmission, just a pulse, carried on waves older than most civilizations. It carried no words, just presence. Something had woken up. Council in panic. Back at the Galactic Nexus, emergency meetings were held. Ambassador races demanded answers. Rumors of Earth's return spread like fire. Some laughed, others trembled. An elder from the Avori species stood before the Council. "You thought silence meant defeat," she said. "But silence is only the first breath before the storm." A younger delegate scoffed. "This is superstition. Humans are extinct." The Avori replied, "Then who is leaving the word return on our wreckage?" No one answered. The hidden fleet, far beyond known star maps, past the neutral zones and dead sectors, there was a nebula that no ship dared to enter. It was thick, filled with radiation and old wrecks. The galaxy called it the Black Reef, a place where sensors failed and navigation broke. Inside that darkness lived fire. Dozens of ships floated in perfect silence. Their hulls were black, their shapes unfamiliar. Not like the old Terran fleet. These ships had no names, no beacons, and no heat signatures. But they lived. Their insides buzzed with AI systems, soldiers trained in deep chambers. Weapons rotated slowly, aimed at invisible enemies. In the heart of the fleet, on the bridge of a massive command ship known as the Revenant, stood a woman in dark armor. Her name was Captain Erin Holden. Born years after the exile, raised in the shadow of betrayal. She looked at the stars ahead and spoke to the AI beside her. "Liu-Ma. Status." The AI responded, soft and calm. "All fire teams ready. Sleeper agents reporting successful shadow drops. Phase 2 is complete." Erin nodded. "They still don't know." "Negative. The Council assumes we are dead." She turned toward a massive screen displaying a map of galactic territories. Several systems blinked red. the ones that had vanished. Good, she said. Let them stay blind. For now. A message from the past. Inside a locked vault on the Revenant, a message played in a continuous loop. It was old, rough, recorded with urgency. It was the final message from Ambassador Raylan Voss, just before Earth cut all signals after the exile. To the humans of the future, if you are seeing this, then we were cast aside. The galaxy judged us without proof. But we are not broken. We are not gone. We are waiting. We will remember. And when the time is right, the stars will hear our fire. Captain Erin watched it again. She had seen it 1,000 times, but it still made her chest tighten. She turned away and whispered, "Time's almost right, old man." A warning ignored. In the final scene, a massive cargo ship belonging to the wealthy Tharnax Corporation entered a quiet system. It was unaware of the growing disappearances. A lone human ship emerged from the shadows. The cargo captain laughed. An old Terran design. Must be a scavenger. Blast it. They fired. The human ship dodged, impossibly fast. Then it struck. The cargo ship never sent a message. It didn't have time. In its wreckage, the attackers left no survivors. Only one thing remained. Burned into the hull. Again. Return. The stars grew quiet. More systems fell into silence. No signals. No life. Just cold, drifting emptiness. And the message left behind. Return. The Galactic Council tried to stay calm. They increased patrols. Deployed fleets. Blocked off sectors. But none of it stopped the disappearances. None of it explained who was doing it. Or how. The truth was simple and terrifying. The ghosts of Earth had returned. A shadow on Station 9. Station 9 was a listening post near the edge of Council space. Manned by a small crew of different species, it watched deep space transmissions. For weeks, they'd picked up strange static, barely noticeable, like whispers in a storm. Officer Tall, a young Rethuri, adjusted the signal reader again. "It's getting louder," she said to her partner. "The same pattern. Every night." "What is it?" asked Varric, a Doran technician. She played the noise over speakers. It was just static, until they slowed it down. Then they heard it. A voice, broken and old. "We were never gone." The station went into lockdown. A message was sent to the Council, but the reply came too late. That night, the stars above Station 9 blinked and went dark. When rescue ships arrived, the station was gone. No wreckage, no distress beacon, only a burned transmission log. At the bottom of the page, "We warned you." Whispers in the void. Inside the Council war room, panic was growing. Admiral Voth slammed his clawed hand on the table. "We need answers. How are they moving without detection? How are they destroying entire outposts without a trace?" The room was silent. Then, from the shadows, an old voice spoke. "We buried something, and now it's clawing its way out." All eyes turned. It was High Scholar Marion of the Lore Archives. Her species lived long lives. She remembered the exile. "I told you," she said. "I told all of you. Earth didn't die. It disappeared. There's a difference." A younger council member scoffed. "We scanned Earth. Nothing moved. No signals. No power. Just dust." Marion shook her head. "They learned to hide. They stopped using our tech. They went deeper, silent, watching." She held up a datavat. "Do you know what this is?" "It's a code string sent by a human probe. We just picked it up 2 hours ago, encoded in an old Earth dialect." She paused, letting the tension rise. "It says, 'You exiled the wrong species. Sleeper agent.'" At the heart of Council City, the most secure building in the galaxy stood tall, the Tower of Order. It held military secrets, strategy data, and war archives. It also held fear. Because that night, someone breached its outer wall. Security drones swarmed. Alarms blared. But the attacker moved like smoke, silent, fast, deadly. Cameras caught only flashes, a black figure in Terran armor. When they finally trapped the intruder, they realized something worse. It wasn't a robot. It was a human. Sleeper agents, humans planted years ago, hiding among the stars. The agent smiled as he stood surrounded. "This is not revenge," he said softly. "This is history correcting itself." He triggered a pulse device and vanished in a flash of light. What he took that night was priceless, an access key to Council fleet movement logs. The next morning, 3 Council warships disappeared in deep space. Revenant moves. On board the Revenant, Captain Erin Holden studied the stolen fleet paths. She pointed to a weak link in their formation. "They're spreading themselves thin. Too many borders. Not enough eyes." Her second-in-command, Darrow, nodded. "We can hit 5 more systems before they even react." Erin looked out at the stars. "No," she said, "we hit where it hurts." She pointed to one star system in particular, Theros Prime. A core world, rich, powerful, unguarded. Darrow raised an eyebrow. "That's bold. High risk." She smiled. "Bold is what got us exiled. It's only fair." Attack on Theros Prime. Theros Prime was a city world. Lights never dimmed. Ships landed every minute. No one expected danger. Humans were a ghost story. Then the sky opened. Black ships fell like shadows. No warning, no mercy. The ground trembled as fusion rounds struck power grids. Defense satellites blinked offline. Panic spread. Civilians ran. Council guards tried to fight, but their weapons were useless. The human tech was newer, smarter, faster. From orbit, the Revenant watched in silence. Erin spoke over the comms, broadcast on all channels. Her voice echoed across Theros Prime. "We asked for peace. You gave us exile. Now, you'll learn what fire really means." And then, nothing but silence. Within minutes, the entire system went dark. The Council lost contact. Billions left wondering, who are the ghosts in the dark? Last scene. The old man and the seed. Far from the chaos, deep inside an icy asteroid belt, an old man sat by a garden. Yes, a garden, grown inside a pressurized dome. He wore faded earth clothes and carried an ancient datavat. He watered the plants quietly. Behind him stood a young girl, no older than 10. Her eyes glowed faintly with cyber implants. Human, but different. "Grandpa," she asked, "is it true what they say, that we're the villains?" He smiled. "That's what they always say about survivors, child." She looked at the sky. "Will we go back?" He looked toward the stars, toward Earth. "Not back," he said. "Forward." He reached into the soil and pulled out a small black cube, a seed of Earth's original eye. He handed it to her. "Take this to the Revenant. It's time they remembered what humans were really made of." She nodded, holding the cube tight. The galaxy had always looked down on Earth. They thought humans were weak, wild, emotional. Now, the sky itself was screaming their mistake. A sky that burns. Council Outpost R-17 was located above a quiet mining planet called Delvex. It had no weapons, no warships, just workers and cargo ships. That made it the perfect target. The attack began without warning. First, the stars above the station blinked, just like others before. Then the sky caught fire. Not flames, not bombs. Orbiting satellites overheated and exploded simultaneously. Something triggered them from the inside. The crew on R-17 barely had time to understand. Ships appeared, black, silent, fast, human. Before a distress call could be sent, everything was gone. The skies were clear again. But down below, on the planet's surface, a single message had been burned into the sand with a precision laser. "We remember." inside the Council's war room. Inside the massive chamber of the Galactic Council, fear had turned into anger. Who is leading them? Admiral Kez barked. The old Terran colonies are dead, someone else added. They were all destroyed or absorbed after the exile. No, whispered High Scholar Marion. Some of them escaped, scattered into the dark. We ignored the rumors of rogue fleets. We called them fairy tales. She looked around. But fairy tales don't melt satellites. Another voice spoke from the side of the room. It was Zorak, a cybernetic intelligence liaison. I've decoded fragments from their signal bursts. They're using something we don't understand. What do you mean? Asked a counselor. Zorak's metal hand tapped a console. It's a fusion of old Terran code and something new, organic encryption. He paused. It's like the code is alive. Inside the Revenant, far across space, on board the Revenant, Captain Aaron Halden stood before a glowing chamber. Inside floated a small cube, the AI seed, given by the old man from Earth's hidden garden. The cube pulsed with light, warm, alive. Her second-in-command, Darrow, looked uneasy. This thing gives me chills. Aaron nodded. It should. This isn't just an AI. It's the last piece of the old Earth mind. Darrow frowned. That's a myth. Not anymore. She touched the glass. It remembers every war, every map, every secret the galaxy tried to take from us. And now, it's ours again. She looked out at the fleet. It's time we bring the storm. The Ghost Fleet rises. The Council had always believed Earth's fleet was destroyed. They were wrong. The Ghost Fleet, a hidden armada of ships built in the asteroid shadows, had waited for years. Quiet, cold, ready. Now, they moved. Thousands of ships, some small and fast, others massive with hidden weapons, ripped through slip space and entered Council territory. Their strategy was simple: divide and disarm. No large-scale wars, just precision strikes. Communications hubs, gone. Fuel depots, vaporized. Border patrols, ambushed and destroyed. But no prisoners were taken, and no human bodies were ever found. Only the mark left behind. 2 burning stars. The symbol of the exiled. The betrayal of Venfor. In a desperate move, the Council reached out to Venfor, a neutral trading world that had once traded with humans. The plan was simple: lure the humans into peace talks and trap them. But humans had learned. A delegation from the Revenant agreed to come. They landed on Venfor's upper platform, unarmed, calm. Then, as the trap activated, nothing happened. The humans smiled. And from orbit, a second fleet decloaked. The sky above Venfor caught fire. Council forces panicked. Their traps had been hacked, reprogrammed to turn on their own. Turrets fired on Council ships. Defense grids went blind. The last message intercepted from the human commander was short. You taught us war. We made it art. A signal from Earth. Deep inside the Council's intelligence center, a single alert flashed red. A signal. A real one. Coming from Earth. They ran scans. Confirmed. The transmission was coming from the original Earth coordinates. A small continuous pulse. Weak, but stable. It wasn't a call for help. It was an invitation. The old planet awakens. Earth had been silent for a century. Dead, they thought. But now, as a Council probe ship entered orbit, they saw something impossible. The clouds above Earth were not natural. They moved in patterns, shaped by technology hidden in the atmosphere. Massive constructs rotated just above the clouds, disguised as debris fields. Cities that once lay in ruins were now lit from below, powered by geothermal cores. And then came the voice. A simple, clear human voice, broadcast in every Council language. You exiled us, but Earth never left. It only evolved. Ending scene. The unveiling. As the probe ship turned to escape, one final image was sent to the Council. In low orbit around Earth, a massive structure emerged from the clouds. It looked like a ship, but it was far larger than anything seen before. Not a dreadnought, not a cruiser. It was a planet killer. No weapons visible, just quiet energy readings, but its scale was clear. And painted along its side in bold, ancient Terran script, EXILECLAS//FIREWALKER1. Then the screen went black. The council chamber was in chaos. Dozens of alien leaders shouted across the room. Holograms of destroyed outposts and burning fleets filled the air. The humans were striking too fast, too smart, too human. Then all screens across the galaxy turned black. A cold silence fell. One by one, the displays lit up again, showing the same image. Earth, not the Earth they remembered, scared, silent, forgotten. This Earth was awake, alive. Orbiting its skies was the massive Firewalker 1, glowing with quiet power. New symbols shimmered across its hull. Terran language reborn. Then a voice filled every system, every mind. Calm, human. We were cast out. Forgotten. Hunted. But we survived. And now we remember everything. The camera pulled closer. Inside the command deck of Firewalker 1, Captain Erin Holden stood tall, eyes like steel. Behind her, holograms of enemy fleets lit up, each marked, targeted, calculated. She spoke, not to her crew, but to the stars themselves. You thought exile would break us. You taught us war, but we turned it into fire. Then came the final words, whispered like thunder. This is not revenge. This is the return of the forgotten. As she gave the command, the ship lit up. Engines roared. Weapons hummed. And from Earth's orbit, the sky burned bright, as humanity answered exile with the fury of 1,000 silent years. The stars would never forget them again. Cut to black. End.